Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're going to be watching this. I'm currently on my way to GSS Kabusa for a public speaking training. So shout out to Toastmaster Blessing. So she put together this particular project. It's her own little way of giving back, and I think there's also going to be the donation of books. It's been amazing being a part of this project. I've had to also put together resource material for public speaking. I'm going to be taking public speaking with confidence, so I'm hoping that it's going to be insightful, impactful, and likewise enlightening for the students, and hopefully they can take something out, practical steps that they could apply to start speaking with confidence. So wish me luck, and hopefully you're going to be seeing subsequent videos from the training. And the road to Kabusa is not that great. Like, here I am stuck, just bad portions of the road. I don't know how an area like this, where people actually reside, doesn't actually have a very clear road. This is sad, really sad. Just take a look at this, how terrible the road is looking. Like, that's how they're dodging bombs left, right, center. It's off. Okay guys, so yeah, I just arrived and these are the students. Here I am, looking like a nerd.
We thank you this morning. We give you glory, we give you honor. Thank you, Father, for this is the day you have made. We rejoice and be glad in it. We ask, Lord, that you take over.
And these are the students introducing themselves. They're all prefects from labor, head girl, head boy, and all of that. And here's Toastmaster Blessing introducing my humble self.
That way, and a filmmaker. He enjoys telling stories through motion pictures. He's the founder of Heart to Heart Production, which creates enlightening and transformative movie content. He also sponsors the Gathering of Giants. I hope people here are giants because we are here with leaders, and tomorrow you are going to be giants, which focuses on raising young leaders that transform society. He hopes to impact change in the world with his words and his voice, and he has an amazing voice, by the way. His mantra is to believe in the seen is no belief at all, but to believe in the unseen is a triumph and a blessing. So I welcome Toastmaster Chidi Okocha.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Blessing. Bobby, please a round of applause for her again. And thank you, sir. Thank you, our principal. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. And I believe we're all excited to partake in this training. And I believe with the short time that we're going to be having this morning, that we're going to take some key tips that will make us more effective speakers. Public speaking with confidence. Can you repeat with me? Public speaking with confidence. Again? Public speaking with confidence. Alright, so who here has an idea what public speaking is all about? If you don't, can you just raise your hands? Okay, I'm going to say something real quick. For this session, I want you all to understand that there is no right or wrong answers. So I want you, to the best of your ability, to contribute. It's supposed to be something that we should flow together. That's the only way we can learn, right? So you want to try? Please tell us your name and tell us what you think.
My name is Jose Dibanfro. I think public speaking is the essential skill needed to address an audience.
Awesome, a round of applause for him. Okay, someone else wants to try.
My name is Eric. I think public speaking is having the boldness in you to talk in the public without being shy.
I like that statement, having the boldness in you. Thank you very much. Any other person wants to try? Alright, so for the sake of our training, okay, someone else? Okay, please, go ahead.
My name is Helen. I think public speaking is the ability of someone to have the capacity to speak without being intimidated by anyone.
A round of applause for her. You see, these are all wonderful answers, and the truth is, that's what public speaking is all about. When you hear public and speaking, it means being able to speak in public, being able to address people, right? And the context of our conversation today is public speaking with confidence. With confidence. So that you can do public speaking. So let's give an example. Can you all hear me? Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to paint a picture. I'm going to give two scenarios and I want you to tell me what you think. Now the first scenario is this. Good morning class. Content creation is
the process of gathering ideas that appeal to your audience, creating written and visual content around those ideas, and making the information accessible to your audience as a blog, video, infographic, or other content formats.
Now let me take a second approach.
How many of you have heard of a statement, content creation? How many of you have heard of it? Now, statistics have it that 5 in every 20 individuals aspire to be content creators. So what then is content creation? It is a process of generating ideas. It is also the process of generating ideas that will appeal to your audience, creating visual and written content around those ideas, and making that information accessible to your audience as a blog, a video, an infographic, or other content formats.
Now, I just painted 2 scenarios. Which of them do you think sounds more confident? Okay, why do you think it's the second approach?
Because the second one, you speak with confidence and boldness.
I spoke with confidence and boldness. How do you now define the confidence? So go ahead, let's hear from you, man.
There was authority in the voice, understanding, and eye contact.
Please put your hands together for him. Isha will make a very good public speaker, and of course, every one of you here. Any other person wants to try? Okay, anyways, you're very correct. If you thought the second approach was more confident, then you're very correct. Why? He gave some elements which we're going to be touching on shortly. He talked about eye contact. You see, I'm speaking and I'm looking into your eyes. What does that do for you? It creates a kind of connection. And then the tonality of my voice was also different. I spoke as one having authority. So I wasn't jittery saying, probably speaking. So if I talk like this, you might not take me serious compared to when I talk like this. I say, how many of you here are ready? Can you all relate? Alright, I'm going to make a statement. Confidence is different from pride. Just take note of that. Confidence is different from what? Pride. Pride is different. What is pride? We can see from material. We talked about pride being just being full of yourself. When you feel like you're better than other persons. Confidence is not pride. Confidence is different. Confidence is having an idea of your self-worth. You know that you know what you're saying and what you're trying to convince people from one direction to the other direction. It means you're taking people through a pathway. That's what confidence brings about. Now, confidence, like I said, is different from pride. Pride is simply the belief that you're better. And then I'm going to quickly say this. It's a quote by Maya Angelou. So people can say, they can forget what you say to them, they can forget all of the things. But then, the most important thing is how you make people feel is far more important. And confidence also has a way of instilling that kind of feelings in people. Now, without understanding, let's now delve into some ideas that we're going to be sharing. Now, he said something that I spoke with authority. How many of us have an idea what authority is all about? Who wants to try it?
Authority means you having some like
just put it anyway. Anyway, just feel free.
Authority means giving orders to people.
Okay, come for him. Okay, let's hear from you.
Authority means having self-confidence, boldness, in order to address the public whenever you got to do so.
Awesome. Please put your hands together for him. Alright, that is amazing. That is amazing. Now, authority, like I said, how can you have authority when you don't know your subject matter? So, for instance, if I was to call on someone here to talk about the Himalayas, if I call on someone to maybe talk about the political terrain in Europe, how many of you here can try? I said the political terrain of Europe. You may not have much idea about it, right? But if I ask you to talk about maybe your family, or talk about your favorite teacher, how many of you can try? You see? What is the difference? You have knowledge, you have an idea, you know the person that you're talking about. So having knowledge about your subject matter can pulls you in a state of confidence. It can give you authority to talk. And I'm just going to draw a little insight from the Bible. It says, and Jesus spoke as one having authority. So when you have in-depth knowledge about what you're going to be addressing, what happens? You speak with so much because you know
Now, if I ask you 1 plus 1, what would the answer be? So if I come here and say 1 plus 1 equals 3, you might say, what does it say? So building authority comes from having knowledge. And I'm going to say, knowledge about the subject matter you're going to be speaking on is very important. And it will definitely affect your delivery. It will definitely affect your delivery. Second thing we're going to be talking about is self-worth. And I'm going to dwell a little bit on this. Who can try? What's the meaning of self-worth? What does self-worth mean to you? Self-worth. Self-worth. Anyone wants to try?
To my own understanding, self-worth is same thing as self-value. How you see yourself, what you know you can do, your capability and abilities.
Please put your hands together. Anybody else wants to try? Okay, yes, it's over.
Self-worth means like you, even if people are looking down on you do not put what they are saying in your mind. Like you know that yourself, you are great. Self-worth means knowing who you are and not allowing any other person to intimidate you, even when they think that you don't know what you're saying. But when you know that you have the ability, you have that confidence, you do not allow them to make you feel like you are not capable of that particular.
Awesome. Now we can see from the material we have in our hands, it says the term self-worth is a gauge of how much we respect, love, and value ourselves. You see, in the world that we are living in today, so many people want to put you down. So many people want to denigrate you, want to tell you that, hey, you are what I think you are. But then self-worth is not other people's opinion. It's not other people's idea. It's an understanding of yourself, knowing your capabilities, knowing your value, knowing your worth. It's when people don't have self-worth, that's when you can see all manner of things. The person doesn't treat themselves, they can't even speak well because they don't even think that anybody should listen to them. So self-worth is how you gauge yourself, how you value yourself. Now, people with positive self-worth, they tend to have what? Greater self-confidence and self-esteem. So, if I have great self-worth, I'm going to speak confidently and I don't care about any other person's opinion. I can say what I want to say. I know the funny thing in the world that we're living in today, you go on social media, you see some of the influencers, they are speaking their mind with boldness. They don't care about any other person's opinion. Many of them, funny enough, they are putting out content that may not be healthy, that may not help people grow, that may not necessarily develop anyone. But they go ahead to do it, and it's your business. People come on their page and say what they want to say. They just don't care. They just go ahead to say what they want to say. So what I'm saying is self-worth. And many of us, we come from homes, we come from families, we may come from places where you may not have been valued. Maybe words may have been spoken to you to say, hey, like, you don't know what you're saying. Look at your results. You don't know what you're doing. Like, how do you think you're even smart? How can you even say this thing? But that's people's opinion. Your self-worth is an understanding of, when you have an understanding of your identity, knowing who you are. So you speak as one who is here to represent. You're an ambassador here. Having self-worth, how do we develop it? Can anyone try? How do you think we can develop self-worth?
That will lead us back to what we started with, adequate knowledge and information. You can develop self-worth if you equip yourself enough that you can stand elsewhere and speak.
Awesome. This is very important.
One can develop his or her self-worth by knowing who you are and not like easily getting intimidated by anybody.
Awesome.
One can develop self-worth by having confidence, loving yourself, respecting yourself.
Put your hands together. Let's hear from her.
One can develop self-worth by always doing what you love doing, not doing everything, but what you love doing particularly.
Awesome. Please clap for her. Awesome. So you see, part of the things how self-worth can be reinforced. This is the communication that goes on in your head. The communication that goes on in your mind. You say something, what comes to your mind? Other times, maybe you make a mistake. What comes to your mind? Something wants to put you down to say, look at you, like how. But at that moment, what do? You speak to yourself. And I'm also going to touch a little bit on it before the end of the training today. It's how you develop it. It's also by what affirmations. You affirm yourself. You see, standing before an audience sometimes can make you feel a little bit jittery. It can make you feel the jitters, like it can make you feel a little bit, uncomfortable. But at that moment, how you condition yourself to become confident is that what? You begin to speak to yourself to say, I am confident. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. I am respected. I have knowledge about this thing. When you begin to echo those words, affirm yourself, what happens? You begin to feel an overwhelming feeling. Something begins to have I believe I can do this thing. I believe I can do this thing. Right. So I'm going to move quickly because of time. And then, just to round up, focus less on your mistakes. That's part of how you develop your self-worth. Focus less on your mistakes and your shortcomings, rather on your abilities and your strengths. It's what you call the strength psychology. Unfortunately, we might not be able to enter into that particular conversation today. It's what you call strength psychology. Gallup's train you on your strengths. It's what you call strength psychology. So it doesn't focus on weakness psychology, but more on strength. So meaning those areas where you have more abilities, where you tend towards. So you begin to develop that area. Because when you develop more of that area, you begin to cover up other areas. So we're going to quickly move on. Now, eliminate your use of pause fillers. Now, when I started out with the first approach, what can I remember? I said something like, content creation is what do you call that? What do you call it?
Pause fillers.
Pause fillers. That's what you call what? Pause fillers. Now, what does that do? When I'm speaking, I say, confidence is who can tell me how does it come across to you? Let's look at that.
It shows that you don't have enough confidence in yourself. And you're not sure of what you say.
Clap for her, please. And I see she wanted to say something, but I didn't say. Let me say something real quick before we move on. Now, I came across a video recently. It says that whenever you have the opportunity, when a question is asked in school, whatever, even if you don't know the answer, raise up your hands and say something. Now, let me show you something. Now, I've taken note of a few faces here. I've taken note of his face, I've taken note of her, I've taken note of himself and the head boy and these three persons in front. Because why? The moment you keep answering questions, something happens. Even the teacher begins to like you. Say, what is that young man? Please go ahead and say it. But whenever a question is asked and you don't, it feels like you're not even confused yourself, even when you know the answer. So I want to encourage you from today, when a question is asked, raise up your hand, even if you don't know the answer. The reason why you are here is for you to learn. So if you make a mistake, the teacher will correct you. So don't be afraid of making mistakes, right? So I want to see more participation from hands on. All right, so eliminate your use of pause fillers. When I'm using pause fillers, like it shows that I don't even know what I'm saying, even if I know it. But the fact that I'm using, it begins to detract from my speech. Now, another thing we're going to do is engaging the use of eye contact. Now, as I'm talking, I'm looking at everyone in their eyes. Does it create a connection? Does it keep you engaged in my conversation? It does. So, unlike speaking like this, self-confidence, you most likely will not connect. So they love everyone who's asking things. Boring, right? So engage your use of eye contact. Look someone in the eye and say, I am confident. I look to someone. Say, I am confident. Hey, some people are not even good enough to try it. Look at someone close to you. Say, I am confident. I am confident. That's more like it. Say, I'm bold. Exactly. Exactly. That's how it works. Alright, so quickly I'm gonna go to the next one, which is make purposeful movement. Now, I have been speaking. Have you noticed I've not stood in this place for long? I'm moving. What does that mean? The moment I am moving from one place to another, it creates engagement, and it gives me what stage presence. There is no way you can take your eyes off me. Am I right? Because why? I'm moving from left to right. Now, it's what we call purposeful movement in public speaking. You make what purposeful movement. If I stay in one spot and I'm here all through, you might not get engaged as much. And now the essence of it is that it exudes confidence and it keeps your listeners in your presentation. Now, another one is the use of hand gestures. As much as I'm holding this material, have you noticed I'm speaking? When I've been speaking, my hands have been moving. How many of us can notice? What does that do? That's what we call hand gestures. What does that do? It helps you to articulate your speech. So even when I am a little bit tense, the moment I begin to speak and say, do you know that? So when I'm expressing a point and I'm giving hand gestures, what happens? It communicates stage presence as well, and it keeps you engaged in my conversation. Alright, so we're just going to jump into additional tips because I've been hinted that the time is almost up. So we're just going to proceed, which is additional tips is before speaking, try to take deep breath until you're relaxed and ready. Take a moment to recollect what you're going to say and then proceed. You know what that does for you? The moment you take in deep breaths, how many of you felt tension at certain points? Okay, yes, you can relate. Okay, who else? Come on. So I think everyone can relate. So you feel tension the moment you are asked to speak. So for instance, then we're all here and then next thing they say, oh, okay, who's going to try? And then moment your heart's up. What do you do at that moment? Calm down. Don't just rush. When you calm down, you take deep breath. In. Can we try it? In. Out. How do you feel when you do that? Relaxed. You feel more relaxed. And when you feel relaxed, what happens? You can engage. You feel more confident and you can speak with agility and with what? Confidence. Awesome. Alright, second is practice affirming yourself in moments of doubt. Using words like what? I am confident. So the moment you're about to speak, for instance, and you start feeling that tension, do you know you can affirm yourself? At that moment, you go to one corner, or even on your seat, and say, this is something I teach my nephews. At some point when I came into Abuja, they were a little bit jittery when they want to answer questions or when they speak. So I told them, before you speak, do this. Put your hands on your chest and say, I am confident.
I am confident.
I want you to try it. I am confident.
I am confident.
I am bold.
I am bold.
I am courageous.
I am courageous.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am intelligent.
I am intelligent.
I am the best and nothing less.
I am the best and nothing less.
See what happens? You feel what? Confident. Am I right?
Yes.
That's what happens. Second on the third is start your speech with questions, statistics, jokes, fictional stories. So I can start with the stories. Have you heard about the story of tortoise and the lion? And then that helps you keep people engaged in my conversation. And lastly, record yourself. So you may not have smartphones, but in case you do, or whatever the case, practice speaking. You can ask your friend and say, okay, please pay attention. I want to speak. And then the moment you begin to speak, tell them, take notes. Where do you think I went off? Where do you think I did right? Let me know so that I can become a better speaker. Now, in conclusion, remember that becoming a confident public speaker, it takes time and practice. Now, you're seeing me, I'm speaking. Say, I'm confident, I'm this. It did not start out that way. Right? It did not start out that way. So being in Toastmasters has afforded me the opportunity to daily show up and give presentations. And I'm going to say this. We learn by doing. That's our mantra in Toastmasters. We learn by doing. So as much as we come here and speak and say, I've learned public speaking, if you don't speak, you will not become confident. The more you do something, you become more confident at it. if the first time you ever iron the clothes, you might not be too confident. But other times when you keep ironing and ironing and ironing, you just become confident and just say, where's the clothes? Just you pressed it. Alright, and then consistently working on your skills. You can enhance your ability to engage and inspire any audience. Have you all been inspired this morning? Yes. Raise your hands and say, I've been inspired. I've been inspired. Awesome. So with dedication and effort, you find yourself speaking with confidence and leaving a lasting impact wherever you go. Now I'm going to quickly say this.